before I go to Jamal, I'm going to ask for a video to be run. So let's see the video, and then Jamal, I'm coming to you, please. So every time I see those videos, I feel so proud, and I'm sure that everyone around feels so proud as well. So Jamal, I want to ask you more about how you think those technologies helping the product.
Yeah, Ammar, as you said, as you saw at the video, we tried to highlight some of the technologies that we have used on top of our production. These kinds of technologies, of course, we are trying to attract, let's say, the football fans, and maybe we can reach to another target, like new generations that, we are trying to have different way of production, like for example, the drone AR, the virtual reality, all these kinds of things. I think it's not always a normal football production.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you so much. So if you allow me, I'm going for the main partner that we have, or that the Pro League has within this discussion. I'm going to go for Mr. Talal and Mr. Paulo, and just ask about how you think those technologies are improving the product.
Let me start, Paulo. So as you said, and as we discussed, and we talk a lot about these things, improving and development. This is will never stop. We are always. We started with the standard things. So then HD, then 4K. So then the small elements, or the small ideas, the small things, much will be added a lot for the football production. Some special equipment, some additional requirements, which is not normal to be used in football. But and somehow we try together. Actually, we try to find solution, or to find way how to use it in the right way, which will add to the football. And I believe we did together, especially with your support and with your crazy idea, Ammar. We did a lot, and I believe this will not stop. And we are looking for more surprises, actually, let's say, in the football in the future, inshallah.
Thank you, Talal. Paulo, how do you think those small elements, as a director, from your point of view, how you think those elements are adding value for the product?
Yes, the value, the tricky part, I like to say, that to bring all these new equipments and these new ideas is not forget that at the end we are doing a football, and the football have some rules and some things that we need to follow. And the main target is to implement these small or these big things, but in a way that complement the match and not replace the key elements of the match. And this is the tricky part, and this is the challenge that we face when we bring this technology. But at the end, it's like you mentioned in the beginning, the crazy ideas bring us to this level. So we love crazy ideas. Sometimes a lot of nights without sleep to try to see how these crazy ideas will work. But at the end, when we saw the picture and we saw what is on air, I think everybody is proud what we achieved. But always with the idea that this is our base and we need to work every day to improve even more our quality and to bring new ideas. So we didn't finish our ideas. We're just starting the new ideas, and let's see what the future will bring us.
Yeah, nice. As you mentioned, I believe like many nights we wasted trying to do like one frame or a couple of things. But one of the challenges that you just highlighted, which is that it is a football match. You don't want to affect the match. At the same time, you want to make sure that those elements added value for the product itself. Malek, I'm going to ask you that question. So it's a little bit tricky from the commercial point of view as well. So it's you're trying to implement new things at the same time. You want to make sure that it adds value for your commercial partners. So how do you think that formula works so far?
Look, in all fairness, I would say for the last cycle, the last 3 seasons, that we're basically almost at the close of the cycle. I believe that the advancement that the league has seen from a production value, I think it was much, much higher than the development it had in the years before. And again, it's all the effort of all of those that basically worked on it. We have personally seen the return on the actual commercial value, because now not only we have new product, we have new interests, we have new categories of sponsors that are interested in the new innovations being used. One very important element is that the target audience, because of all the content consumption that's currently happening, they're becoming themselves a very big critic. They all want to see the beautiful shot, whether the utilization of this hyper motion, the super slow motion. They want to see that aerial footage, utilization of the RoboCam that we basically introduced in the Super, the Rover. All of these elements have been looked at very positively. Even on the graphic side of things, utilizing the AR, the VR, the virtual cheering, all of these elements, if we talked about it a couple of seasons ago, you'd be like, you guys are crazy. But now that they've been implemented, funny enough, they're becoming the new norm. That's what the audience currently wants. Yes, I understand at the end of the day, we are doing the football, but all of these gizmos around it are elevating the content and making it more appealing. And we all know at the end of the day, if you have more eyeballs on the product, more sponsors are interested. Suddenly more fans come, the whole cycle starts turning. So yes, I agree with all of you. It has to be a balance. We don't want to basically put too much, because sometimes adding too much spice on the food will basically ruin it. So there's a sweet balance. I believe we've reached that sweet balance, but you know us. We're basically ultimately at the end of the day, we want our league to be looked at as the best, and of course, always pioneering. And we're happy to experiment with you guys. You've proven basically many, many times the proof of concept was successful. Why stop now? Let's keep pushing the edge.
Yeah, for sure. And as you mentioned, that it might open like in the eyes of new commercials, even new fans, you know. As an example, I remember when the first virtual test happened, like 90% of the people who watched and did the experience were not football fans at all. They were like technology geeks trying to follow up the new things happening with the virtual reality and all around. So I will go for, if you allow me, I will go to André. I will ask about the cooperation so far with the UAE football in general. At the same time, I want to ask you about mixing many kind of elements together through your company at the same, under the supervision of live guys, which is the augmented reality, statistics, heat maps, tracking systems, and I believe that the ADNOC Pro League guys keep demanding too many things. How things goes with you?
Yes, so if you can think about a few years back, the only service we delivered in the broadcast was standard graphics with few statistics, and this is not that long ago. It was maybe five years ago, maybe. So since 2018 or 2019, we start adding more technology to the broadcast. This is not only keeping up with the market, but also suggesting new technology, and even technology that was not used in football before, we start using in football. We adapted to football. So the partnership with Pro League has been challenging, has been exciting, and you know what I mean. It's challenging. You know exactly what I mean. So we of course we want to give the best experience for the viewer. We want them to be happy with the final product, but we also want to show them things that maybe they don't know that they need. So maybe this is a little bit on the commercial side. We can do a better product, and with better product comes more viewers, with more people viewing it, more sponsorship. So of course there's all that components can work together. So yeah, so Double T Vision has been, as I was mentioning, started with standard graphics operation. Over the years, we introduced tracking statistics. So we started with few matches in one season. We moved it to one match per day. These tracking statistics started to be shown on standard overlay graphics. With the AR, we not only introduced a new technology, but we also reutilized the work that was being done with the tracking system, and why not display this data in a different way with the AR. So this has been step by step what we've been developing with UAE Pro League, and we are looking forward for what's next, because I'm sure we are not going to stay here. This is just the beginning.
I believe so. I don't think so. You will stop here for sure. The question is more for Talal. From your point of view, having too much elements, having too many experiences happening within the match, while you have like a match action running, how do you think the running order will be?
Actually, Ammar, as Malek and Paulo said, you know, the main concentration should be in the football itself, the match itself. You know, adding this let's say elements, this extra equipment, this extra technology, for me, for sure, this will add. You know, and I would love to have them actually. You know, I mean, somehow, somewhere, or sometime, maybe a bit more than usual. But for me, it is always interesting and always good to have them actually, even the live show actually. So for me, for sure, this is will add and will keep add actually.
Yeah, perfect. So I will go for another technologies that have been implemented through the last 3 seasons, and Mohammed maybe mentioned in the beginning that it was the first like proper test on air. And I believe since day one, the feedback on it was huge from at least from the fans we were having around. And you told us about the growing or happening with your company going to Europe, going to many like elite leagues around. So how do you think the cooperation with the Pro League happened, and what was the main challenges so far?
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That was a very big step for us. The night that for the first time our technology was broadcasted during the Super Cup of UAE Pro League, and that was a very big moment for us. And that was the first time that was broadcasted. And you know, because until that moment, the only league that had the similar technology was La Liga with another technology provider. But as you know, they need huge installation inside of the stadium, 38 5K camera, specific servers, and kilometers of fibers. But using AI and machine learning, we just used the broadcast speed on that Super Cup final, and the result was amazing. And I remember that when you broadcasted the output during the match, again after the match, UAE Pro League Twitter account published our output, and that was a huge record. If you remember, that was 110,000 views just in 3 days. That was a very big record for the social media of UAE Pro League, and that was very interesting for us as well. And that was a starting of our journey After that, we started our contract in the region, especially in Qatar with Bein Sport, and recently by official approval of FIFA, our technology was used during Arab Cup, and FIFA has planned to using our technology for World Cup as well. And in recent weeks, we started our official cooperation with UEFA, with Italian Serie A, and also with some of the clubs in the Bundesliga. The main point is we can work with different sections, league, club, and even broadcasters, because even we can work in downstream. So what we did with UAE Pro League, that shaped our company, and we are looking forward to have a more cooperation with UAE Pro League for this technology and also the other unique technologies that we are releasing right now. I don't know, I have time to speak about these technologies as well, or in the next...
Yeah, you can. You can give us like a minute introduction about the technology itself. Go ahead.
Yes, you know, our first technology, as the majority of friends, they know that's about immersive technology, that we are showing the breathtaking moments of the match through eyes of the players. That's very interesting for fans and therefore for sponsors. And it will be used more and more in different competitions. And one of the experts recently, he said to me that I believe it will be like the normal replays and slow motion for each goal, that the fans request and need to see the point of view of the player that he's scoring or passing the ball from now on. So it will be like replay system. It should be in every broadcast feed. And the second technology that we released recently, and it's a big game changer in virtual advertising section, is our SP board technology, our virtual advertising technology. As you know, many top leagues like La Liga and Bundesliga, they are using this kind of technologies from 4 or 5 years ago. But the big advantage that our new solution has is that we don't need anything in the stadium, any billboard, any staff, any sensor, any specific camera. And even we don't need to have access to the main camera feed. We just using the broadcast feed. Even we can use direct feed of the match. It means we can bring the virtual advertising in downstream in broadcast layer. Even Abu Dhabi Sport, Dubai Sport, and Sharjah Sport, they can have different billboards. You know, it's apart from the commercial things I'm speaking. So right now, in real time, we can change the billboards in real time, and in downstream, just using the broadcast feed. And we have some other things that we are working, and hopefully we could continue our great cooperation with UAE Pro League in upcoming matches.
Yeah, for sure, Mohammed, Just back to the first experience you mentioned that we did together. I believe even Ahmad from the X team is here as well. We suffered a lot with the infrastructure that time, as I remember. So I would like to ask that question to Jamal, to be honest, regarding the infrastructures. As an example, as André mentioned earlier, that it started with like a normal graphics and then implemented augmented reality tracking systems. So it's a couple of layers happening with the same infrastructure. How do you think the challenge you have to make sure the infrastructure is facilitating the technology that should be implemented? Jamal.
Yes, Ammar, as you mentioned, it's not easy to implement new technologies, especially when you have, for example, long-term competition like the league, and you have like 14 different stadiums with different, facilities with different, there's a big difference between each stadium. So especially some of the technologies you need, for example, dedicated internet lines, you need special rooms or different items to make it, especially that it's not like standard or something normal, a normal broadcast. It's something special. So yes, the challenges there. It's not easy, and the guys, Imad also. I remember how we suffered when we did the first time the VR virtual reality. It was very complicated. It was not easy, and the thing, Ammar, also that most of these things or these technologies, we were the maybe number one in football that we start to do it. Like we did it as an adventure. We don't have like we couldn't learn from others' experience to know what the weakness or how we can improve it. We just started and from the scratch. That's what that's why it's really challenging. But yes, I think it's not easy. It's all the normal, the standard broadcast is challenge. You can think about doing something special or something new.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. If I will just change. I will go to Rahat, but I will just need to highlight that the first time we thought about the buggy cam, how to use it within like a football match pitch, especially when we went to Hazard and Zayed, one of the smallest pitches that we have in the country. So it was like a big struggle. How can we utilize this technology, this camera, this special camera, and to use it within the match? At the same time, we were just like, I can't remember that moment that the whole OB crew, everyone around, were praying to reach a point of the penalty shootouts. You know, so when Jazeera like equaled the goal, that the whole crew was like celebrating because finally we can use that camera inside the pitch without affecting the match. So I will just go to you, Rahat. Tell us more about the buggy cam and the technologies in general you're doing and your cooperation so far with the UAE Pro League.
Sure. Thank you, Ammar. So I think the use of the buggy cam was very exciting to see how the UAE Pro League was able to use it. I think soccer as a broadcast philosophy has been fairly conservative in terms of, actually moving away from just using the camera one to moving cameras like this. And I think, taking that leap with the buggy cam was a great innovation, because what it really allowed was to give, firstly, not have a person having to run around with a camera, give you that really nice low angle and give you the dynamism on the sides of as the ball is moving ahead. And what it really added to the whole broadcast was the sense of dynamism. I think what we miss a little bit is it is a really fast game, but you miss that pace and miss that fastness because most of the cameras are on sticks. Whereas the moment you had the buggy cam over there, it was really giving you this dynamism on the sides. It was being able to give you these very interesting shots from the corners. What was really interesting for us as well was, for us, it's bringing the viewer into the game. But in this case, we were able to use it really well for brand integration as well. I think, the way it came in, and Ammar, hats off to you for, pulling that off. It literally brought in the ball with nice brand integration of one of the brands and really kicked off the game. So I thought that worked really well. And specifically on the penalty shootout, I thought, the way it was used, a lot of our operators have cinema experience as well, working in Bollywood here in India. And I think just to see this nice slow move from the back, from behind the referee, and revealing, the penalty shootout happening at the back, hats off to Jamal and Ammar, you for making all of that happen. And when we saw it on the broadcast, it really looked good. I think it really added to the whole story of the game. It really allowed the viewer to feel like he was right there, right behind the action, to be able to see all of the magic happen. So I thought, for us, it was exciting to send the buggy there, but then to really see it being utilized to its max potential was very exciting for us. So yeah, thank you for making it all happen.
I'll just go back to the same topic, that I really remember that moment that everyone was celebrating the goal just to reach that moment, because the discussion we had, me, Talal, Paulo, and the team, that we need that shot from behind the players inside the pitch, So I can't forget that moment. Paulo, can you tell us about the experience of having a buggy cam within a football pitch somehow?
Was a good experience. One more time, we need to think the way that we need to integrate the buggy to explore the maximum that we can, but without touching the key elements of the match. So we use the buggy camera for the pre-match. During the match, also we use it even with the ASA. That is amazing stadium, but it's very limited inside the pitch. So we need to explore the way that we can use, but without breaking the match rules. And then everybody was anxious for the match to go to the penalty, because in the penalties is when we can show and we can play a little bit more with our gadgets. And then yes, the buggy did an amazing job there, because at the end he gives for the first time some shots and some movements that the audience is not used to see in the football match. And this was a real nice accomplishment. When we see the match after, and the match was very good, and this make a special touch that I think everybody like to see, and everybody waiting for these innovations.
Yeah, but Mr. Rahat, I will get back to you again and ask you about the other technologies you're having, because as I know that you have the integration between the drone cameras with augmented reality elements, and can you just tell us more about that part, please?
Sure. So we've been working with drones for quite a while, and the drones were giving these beautiful shots of these stadiums. But we were trying to see how we can build more storytelling into the shot, because especially with a game like soccer, you don't want to suddenly move out into a wide shot when all of the action is happening. So as part of that, we built something called Spatio, which is a tracking system that allows us to be able to track the drone movement. And what that allows is really to be able to take real-time data and enable it on this drone shot to make it, far more immersive for the audience. So while you can see this beautiful stadium from the outside, you can now see a lot of graphics that are integrated with real-time data that tells you more about, the player performance, tells you more about what the score is, and really, brings that connection from not just being a beauty shot now, but being a beauty shot with integrated graphics. And now that we've integrated it with the Unreal Engine, we can do a lot of really beautiful graphics where, a lot of, animations where you can see characters come in, you can see the stadium convert into different universes. There's a lot more that is possible now. What we've also built on top of this is player tracking. So using artificial intelligence and computer vision, we can actually track the players as well. So as the drone is flying up in the air, you can now, in real time, on the live shot, make circles, name the players, and then pull in data sources from different providers to be able to add more data. So, whether it's speeds, whether it's gaps, distances, all of that can now also be shown on this wide-angle drone shot. So, these are different technologies that we're working with a clear focus to be able to enhance the broadcast and really help with the storytelling of, helping the viewers understand what's going on the field in such a fast pace.
Yeah, I will ask somehow the same question to André, because they have somehow like same, but not the same technology. So we tried that technology for the first time on the last Cup final. And if you can tell us more about the technology and how was the experience with utilizing that kind of technologies within football match,
Absolutely. So this was our second experience in football using the drone to display AR graphics. We've done it before in the Spanish League, in La Liga, and then we use it now in the UAE Pro League. So we had a partnership with our office in India as well. So Mr. Rahat maybe knows us as well. So what we did for this match was we had our tracking system on the drone. So we were receiving the footage of the drone, inserting it into the tracking system. So we were able to know exactly when the drone moves. The graphic knows exactly the movement, so the graphic can stay physically on the correct place. For this match, we had few graphics, and we were able to integrate it with the graphic engine or the graphic software of the match itself, so we can access statistics. So we could utilize what we were already doing for the match itself and display it in a different way. So this was, again, one good experience for us. One more thing to add to the list of accomplishments that we have done for the UAE Pro League. And it was, and I hope we can do it, of course, we can do it again. And we can perhaps utilize the drone, maybe integrated with the tracking statistics heat maps. This can all be possible. So I would say the sky is the limit, but being a drone makes it a bit redundant, right? But anyway, so it was a very good experience overall.
Yeah, good to know. Well, I think it looked like amazing on air. I can't forget how we were amazed the first time we saw Hazab and Zayed, especially when we used the location part. Paulo, can you tell us more? How did you utilize it during the match? How was it? How was the experience?
The experience was good. At the end, the drone always gives us nice shots from the venues. The thing here was more to implement the drone with the graphics in the right timings, because at the end is a drone, and we need always to manage the flight time with the position, because also the system to recognize the position and to arrange the graphics and in the good way. So this was the challenge, to try to have the drone ready with all the graphics ready to go on air in the right time. And it's a drone, so sometimes winds and this type of things affect us. It's not something that we can predict everything, so we need to be ready, and then we need to try to put when we can, and to be honest.
I saw Mr. Rahat smiling, so I would like to have a feedback on that.
Yes, it's always challenging to put in new technology, and it's it's the hardest part is for the director every time when there's lots of new technologies being put in. But I think both the augmented reality and the way the buggy was used for the UAE Pro League, really showed that one, the intent of the league to be able to really maximize the use of technology, and two, really the vision of all of the people behind the league to be able to experiment with these technologies and really bring new and innovative things for the viewers. And it was just really great to watch the whole broadcast, from the opening show to the kickoff, and just seeing all of the technologies come together in a really nice package.
Yeah. But I will go again for André, but I want you to wear the Media Pro hat, and I want to ask you. Actually, I want just to in the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned that there was a very crazy idea, which is utilizing the virtual reality somehow within the matches and doing like special feeds for that. We tried it a couple of times live. It went well, but it didn't give us the proper feedback that we're looking for. And then we tried the video on demand part, the highlights packages. Can you just tell us more about how the virtual reality project was with Media Pro and UAE Pro League?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this project was done by Media Pro, so not from the television. The television had a small part on it, but I remember quite well the challenge that we had for this project, and maybe we were a little bit ahead of our time the first time this idea came up. We had a lot of challenge, connectivity, and a lot of challenge. In the end, we using the sponsorship of Etisalat made things work a little bit faster. And as far as I remember, challenging, I think it was the right word for it, but very rewarding in the end, because we were able to put on the solution. The viewer could experience it, and only on that just makes all the work, all the effort. It's the reward for all the effort. The multivision role on that project itself was to create a database server where we could collect the statistics during the match on the normal broadcast. These statistics could be sent in real time to a server, and the VR system could connect to this server, integrate with this server, and display the statistics in real time for the viewer. So whatever we were collecting in the match, the viewer could have access to it. So this was the television part on this project, and also on the look and feel, we also give some contribution. But again, yeah, it was a very big project, challenging project, but rewarding in the end. And one more time, we were pioneers with it in football.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe you mentioned the challenges. I will ask Jamal about the challenges he had that time. Just to have dedicated internet lines in all areas around the pitch. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah,
struggle?
Ammar, as the VR was really, the challenges were from like operation side, from the technical side. If you remember how the signal issue, how to go to different destination to reach to us again, and it was not easy at all. And I remember that we couldn't make it in any stadium. There is some maybe two or three stadiums that we tried to work on it. So the VR was very very tough projects, but as Andre mentioned that we were the pioneers, and at the end we went live, and it was very very good experience.
Yeah. Malek, I will ask you this tricky question. I think the whole life or the whole technology going to the metaverse somehow, and it is like part of the virtual reality is part of that change. So maybe the guys mentioned that the league was leading that part in the beginning, but currently the Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, they're doing that kind of experience, but the league somehow still like struggling to make it happen all the time. So how do you think the change of metaverse will affect that part?
Thank you, Ammar. It's actually a very important question we have. And it's funny, in the last, I'd say, 6 weeks, I had more meetings with people trying to pitch to us the inclusion of our league in some way or form in either fan tokens or NFTs to be included in a metaverse. It's been insane. Now, it's a very trending topic. Everyone wants to build on the success of what's been done in the NBA and with sales that basically exceeded or surpassed anyone's expectations. Not to basically hide, it's not very confidential data, but we are currently discussing the inclusion of NFTs, whether it is on digital rights or on gaming rights, stuff like similar to the fantasy football. And there are a couple of bidders. We actually received a couple of bids. People are interested in acquiring our rights. We're still, again, for us, it's a new realm. So we're in the discovery phase. We want to make sure that we're not underselling our privileges at a very early stage, because again, in the market, it's something fairly new. But we are exploring. There is great appetite. It helps us not only from a commercial level, but also helps us with a new target audience, whether it's crypto investors or those that are currently in the collectible realm. So the direct question is yes, we are. There are negotiations. Hopefully soon we'll have something to disclose. But again, we are trying also to understand from a rights perspective what's allowable, what's not, without basically going into contradiction with the current rights holder. But obviously, since we are reaching the new ITA, it's a new rights cycle. There will be new products, whether it's the vertical production rights, whether it's the rights for AV outside the region, the different data, audio rights. There's a lot of elements that we need to discuss, and NFT is definitely on the top of that list.
Yeah, but actually, I was not planning to mention, or it was not planned to go through the NFT. So as long as it is on the table, I would like maybe to ask Mohammed, because they have some kind of experience on that part. Mohammed, can you tell us more about the NFT and how it goes? As long as we open that topic, would be good to let people know what's going on in that part. Mohammed.
Yes, NFT section obviously is a very important trend in the sport industry right now. In different sections, from fan tokens that is being familiar in Europe right now, especially, and also collectible videos that especially NBA started this section with NBA Top Shot with the cooperation with Dapper Labs. Also, we are in touch with some main right holders, especially in Europe right now, regarding the NFT section, especially that with our immersive technology, we can produce unique moments from historic important matches and incidents of these different competitions. Because right now what NBA Top Shot is doing, they are selling regular highlights of the amazing slam dunk or of Michael Jordan, for example. They are selling that in very expensive prices. But imagine that in any football competition, any football league, or for example, UAE Pro League, fans can buy an unique view of a unique moment. So this is where Esponics immersive technology could add value to NFT section, and I'm sure that UAE Pro League will be pioneering NFT section in the region as well.
It's crazy how things go quickly. So, sorry, Malek, go ahead.
I was going to say that sounds like a plan for a discussion with Muhammad later on.
Yeah, I believe it is like a plan for another discussion about the NFT and how it's going, no?
Sure.
So,
sorry, Ammar, just I should add one point. I can't disclose what will be, but in first week of April, one of the main right holders of European football, they will publish some of the most important moments of their competitions using our immersive technology. So I think from the beginning of April, many more experts will understand how huge will be the potential of our immersive technology, especially for NFT section.